Hi everybody, this is day 4 for daily math. Remember to try all of the problems on your own first before you come and watch this explanation video. If you haven't tried the problems yet, go ahead and pause now and do your absolute best. All right, let's get started with number 1. Number 1 says Joni has 4 1/3 cups of sugar. Well, that's probably important, so let's go ahead and underline that or circle that. So I'm going to say 4 1/3 cups of sugar. That's how much she has, Joni. She wants to make as many batches of brownies as she can for a bake sale. Okay. Continues on to say if she needs 2/3 of a cup for one batch, so 2/3 is going to be for one batch, how many batches can she make with her 4 1/3 cups of sugar? Okay, so she has 4 1/3 cups, and she is trying to take what she has and split it up into as many batches as she possibly can. So this tells me when I see, okay, we have a whole and we're splitting it up, that screams to me that this is a division problem, right? You should recognize that as well. And, if you're confused on something like this, imagine, okay, here's her cups of sugar, and she is taking out these 2/3 sized portions, right? So if we have, if this is 1 cup, right, then she's taking out 2/3 sized portions. So we would be dividing by 2/3. So she has 4 1/3, and we're going to divide them up into 2/3 sized cups, right? So from here, when we have a problem that is division and it involves fractions, we know there is a certain algorithm for dividing fractions. The very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mixed number and I'm going to change it into an improper fraction. And I do that by putting a multiplication sign here and an addition sign here. And then I ask myself, 3 times 4 is what? That's 12. 12 plus 1 is 13, and then we keep the denominator the same. So we now have 13/3 divided by 2/3. Okay, when I go to do a division problem, I know that what I have to do is I have to keep the first fraction the same, change the sign to multiplication, and find the reciprocal of the second fraction, okay? All right, so now I have my new problem. With a multiplication problem that involves fractions, it's super easy. You just multiply straight across. So in this case, 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. 13 times 3, even if I don't know that off the top of my head, I can come over here and do some multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm going to get 39/6. Now I have to ask myself, how many times does 6 go into 39 without going over? Well, I know that 6 times 6 is 36, and that is awfully close. So I'm going to say it goes in 6 times, and if 6 times 6 gets me to 36, then I go 37, 38, 39, right? And I'm 3 away. So I have 6 and 3, 6. I keep the bottom number, the denominator there. Now, a lot of people probably finished right here. And because you know me, that I'm going to be real disappointed with you if you left me 6 and 3/6. I always tell you guys what? I always say reduce, simplify, reduce, okay? In this case, both the 3 and the 6 can be divided by 3, right? So our final answer should be 6. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Our final answer should be 6 1/2. So think about it, the original problem now. It was asking how many batches of brownies she could bake. So she can bake 6 1/2 batches. So we're going to make sure that we include our label here of batches. All right. This next one is called graphing or it's about graphing an inequality. And this isn't something that we have done a whole lot of, but thankfully we have this awesome tip here. Whenever you see these tips on daily math, just know that it's basically a step-by-step list of instructions for how to solve it. All you have to do is read it and you'll know what to do. So it says on the number line, graph x is greater than or equal to -1. When you see this line underneath, that should make you say out loud or equal to, okay? So in this case, it's x is greater than or equal to -1. So here's the tip. Excuse me. To graph an inequality, draw a circle at the starting number. Okay, what's our starting number? -1. So let's go ahead, go to -1 and draw a circle. If the inequality is less than or greater than, do not color the circle. If it is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, color the circle. Okay, ours does have that bar underneath. That means or equal to, so we need to shade our circle in. Perfect. Then draw an arrow on the line to show what part of the line is less than or greater than the number. Okay, here's the trick that my teacher taught me when I was learning how to do this. Looking at the sign that we have here, we have a greater than or equal to sign. You need to draw an arrow to show the inequality here, to show which numbers are valid in this sentence, right? Because we're trying to find numbers that are greater than or equal to -1. So all of these numbers over here are bigger than or equal to -1, right? We've got -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So we want these numbers. Well, something really handy about that is the sign itself actually shows you which way the arrow is going to go. In this case, our arrow is going to go this way. So we'll draw something like this, right? But look, in the original problem, we have this sign, and when you go like this, it shows you exactly what your arrow is supposed to look like. Isn't that cool? So if you were dealing with something like this, you would see, oh, the arrow is supposed to go that way. Thankfully, that's not what we're dealing with in our problem. I mean, not thankfully, but that's not what we're dealing with in our problem right now. But I just wanted to show you guys that this sign in your original problem will always show you which way the inequality's arrow is going to be pointing. So inequalities, they sound a little bit scary, but actually they're not hard at all, right? So don't be intimidated by inequalities. Just remember, if there's a or equal to bar underneath the sign, that you need to shade in your circle, okay? And if there isn't, then your circle would stay open. So for example, if I had x is less than 2 on my number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, right? I would go to 2, and I would leave an open circle because there's no line underneath this less than, and then my less than would show me which way my arrow's pointing, which is this way. So there's a second example for you guys, but I just wanted to show you, this is not hard at all for inequalities. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Love and miss you all. All right. Bye.